Welcome to this look at a new mod map to console on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. This, as the sign says, is Dutch Fantasy. This had an update yesterday. Part of that update was console release. So this map is out already on PC, but console release was yesterday. Welcome to Dutch Fantasy. This map is completely fantasy. It's based on Dutch assets. Farming is not a job, it's a way of life. We hope you enjoy this map, is what the sign says. This is by NorthEastModding, 192.39 megabytes download. Now, as with maps like this, that 192.39 megabyte download is literally the map. There are 10 required mods that automatically download along with this map, which bumps the overall up quite a bit. Not horrendously, but you know, it does bump it up. On top of those required mods, we have got under build mode, under production and sell points. We've got a load of sell points here. So we've got selling station beets, potatoes, maize and everything. The whole wide world. They're on there. We have also got under animals. We've got a cow one added in. Like I say, all these other ones are part of the required mods, and there are quite a few. They're all written in the description. All the details of them are in the description of the video. So you've got a couple there for cows. There's nothing else under animals that's been added in over and above. Under decoration, we had under others, wasn't it? What do we have under others? Oh yeah, we've got these, some calf igloos and things like that have been thrown in. And then under landscaping, the only thing under there was a few extra painting textures with some sort of ground brickwork, tile work, that kind of thing. So a few extra bits and bobs in there. Nothing crazy, nothing absolutely bonkers mad. The map looks like this. So, fairly large map with a lot going on. This is one of those maps that's got a few hidden plots. There are some blue icons that aren't showing until you buy the land. So we do have some extra farms as we go around the map. Field prices range from, like with most maps, I say most maps because that is a very sort of generic term. We've got some small fields leading up to some very large fields. Field 29 there, for example, that'll set you back 38 grand, and then we kind of work our way up to some mid-sized fields up in the 176 to 200s. That one there, 195, and then some larger fields there, 319, 300. I think that's around the largest. I'm trying to think where. Oh yeah, up the top here we have the larger one, 563. So not break the bank stuff, and also you can start off small and work out. But these plots here, you've got 146, 147. There's 148, 149. Then we've got 157. There's a few plots around the map. This one here, 153, 159. Can all be purchased. Some have plots on them, some don't. We've also got a pasture that's kind of hidden, but 152. You'll see as we go around the map. So I'll put some money and we'll get them. But on New Farmer, we do start with the main farm here. These four fields around it, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we do start with owning the plot of land that the vehicle workshop and vehicle shop is on. What we can also do is buy the verges, the periphery. There you go. That, with a cost of 0, you can buy all of that. So with regard to landscaping, changing bits and bobs, potentially putting some placeables down. So everything on this map is purchasable. So that's the map. What else have we got on my notes that I don't want to miss before we go? I think that's it. There are no additional crop types. Contracts are available. So from here, you can hear the frogs. We'll just whiz across to here because we start here, right by the farmer's market. If I go back to the map, we are currently here. So we started just here. We're at the farmer's market. The main farm that we start with is just here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump from here to there rather than walk, because it'll be a little bit of a walk. But this is another one of those maps, and I suppose it's becoming, well, no, it's not a generic term. It's a nice, like the lighting is great, the colour palette works well. It does have a nice, gritty, realistic feel to it. being that it's a fancy map. It's made up. It has that Dutch feel. We've got a lot of dikes. We've got a lot of irrigation, waterways, ditches, causeways. You know, there's a whole lot going on. Some nice sound effects as you go around, as you've heard with the frogs and stuff like that. But it's nicely laid out, neat, tidy. It's a cracking map. So I'm going to head to the farm and we will carry on around there. Like I say, I will put some money in. I'm going to need that to buy the plots as we go around. So as we head down to the start farm, which is just here, so we've literally just walked straight the way down that road from where we were just a moment ago, but it's a little bit of a walk, so I thought we'd kind of jump ahead from there. We come into the main farm. Now the main farm doesn't have a sleep trigger on it, but there are plenty in the mod hub you can place wherever you want. So as we come around the back of the buildings, it's predominantly cows on this map already. There's one small farm that's got sheep on it, but a lot of these can be removed. We've got some front load equipment just here. We've got our cow barn, which does, there's a dialogue box there, 250 just here. We do start with, I think, 3 or 4 tractors. We've got some fence, we've got an old fence, we've got a newer fence, and a newer fence, yeah, 4. And we've got a class just there. We've got some of our equipment, ploughs, grasswork equipment. We've got our seeder, tedder, windrower, forage wagon. So it's set up predominantly for doing grass work, silage work, that kind of stuff for cows. I mean, that's in essence what it's set up to do. 2 silage clamps just here. And then around the side here, we've got a slurry basin. Slurry basin is 450,000 litres. That's one of the required mods. We've got a slurry tank, Schouten with the rear cultivator and spreader on it. And that's the main farm. That's that's where we start. Again, this is one of those ones I really like. For some people, you might find it frustrating and I don't know, annoying. I like the fact you've got ditches and stuff around the farm. So when you are bringing stuff in and out, you know, this is not the sort of farm you want to be working on. It's one of those maps you don't want to be working on if you've been playing hours and hours, or if you've been at work all day, you come in from work, you sit down to play, or it's early in the morning and you're tired. The amount of times I've done it and your eyes are going, I've driven across crops, I've driven into ditches, I've driven into ponds and lakes. This map is crisscrossed with ditches, dikes, ponds. You know, you're going to have a bad day if you're not careful. But I like that. Adds an amount of jeopardy to it. So I'm going to grab one of the tractors and we're going to head around the map following a route. But what I'm going to do is put some money in first. I'm using government subsidy signs, and I've said this on a few map tours. People do ask. I'll go from where I am now to suddenly jumping and there'll be a ton of money. People are convinced I'm playing on PC. I'm not. I'll put some government subsidy signs in and I'll show you them momentarily before we walk off. Just to prove it. I shouldn't need to, but I'd rather do that than people second guessing. So I'm going to grab the Fendt. I think all of our tractors, bar the smaller Fendt, or maybe that as well, are all 32 miles an hour. So we'll use one of those and we will crack on. So I will see you in a moment. And there we have it. Some extra money put in. Government subsidy signs are just there, and I skipped ahead to the next hour to make them trigger. Actually, while we're here at the main farm, we might as well talk about slot count while we're here. The slot count in all 3 game modes, New Farmer, Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, is 1,134. You start with all the machinery, all the equipment, all the buildings. Now you will see as we go around the map there's all the different farms we come to. What I did was sold all the equipment and machinery, bought all the farms up off camera, and sold all the buildings that I could. I got that slot count down from 1,134 to 803. So if there are farms on the map you don't want to use and you'd rather use them with something else, most of the buildings and stuff are removable. And you can change your start equipment as you can with most maps anyway, and I got the slot count right down. So if you'd rather have a lower slot count and then build from there, that's where I got it to. So let's jump in the tractor and let's head on. We should have no problem at all now purchasing whatever we need to. I'm trying to remember the route I took. I think it was this one. We'll see as we go around. It is pretty much flat apart from the dikes and stuff that are around. There are a few. We've got a few little bridging areas. But like I said, the colour palette is not over the top. It's not bright and colourful. There are flowers, you can see them, but to say there's sort of a muted palette, we haven't got reds and pinks and stuff like that. must admit, I did a Let's Play a while back. It was again. It seems to be when I do Let's Plays when Silly G, my daughter, was playing, and when I did the ones with MrSealyp, because it's collaboration stuff, and sort of always said about collaborations with other people. It's when they're available, when you're available, and you find with the best of intentions when you start out, you kind of the ball's rolling, and then things happen. You can't always link up, you can't get together, and sometimes, you know, a Let's Play you're doing might be a very limited short run. The one I was doing with Silly G was a Dutch map, and we were really enjoying that. I have to say, I do like, and I say that for every map tour, I do like most of the maps I do map tours on. I think it just adds a whole nother element with all of this. There's a lot of detail on this as well, these little pond areas around the map as well. So, we'll turn in here. This is the vehicle shop and workshop. This is the reset point on the map as well, so if you need to reset anything, it will reset back here. We do have some more of our start equipment and machinery here at the vehicle store. Whether it's stored here or we just purchase it to come and collect, we have a harvester header, and we do have a trailer here as well. There's your workshop trigger, and there's your vehicle shop trigger. I don't know, do these open? Like I said, on New Farmer we do own this plot of land. Oh yeah, workshopping. That's interesting actually. You've got a workshop there and a workshop inside here. But anyway, these buildings can be removed if you want to remove them. This one stays. This is the vehicle workshop. But the buildings can be removed if you want to. So that's the vehicle store. So what we're going to do now is head south down to the first plot. I haven't numbered these. I've just put down plot numbers from the map, because I know when I've done it before, instead of, you know, unless the map specifically states farm 1, 2, 3, you know, I will just number them in the order I go around them, which I've said before, they're arbitrary numbers, but these are the plot numbers. I thought it would work a little bit easier if I do that. So, we'll head south. Now the first farm we come to, and we will buy, doesn't have animals on it. There's a couple, there's another one later on which is more of a contractor's yard, but with plenty of room on the actual, I always refer to it as a hard standing, but the courtyard yard area. So if you wanted to place animal pens down, you can, or indeed productions, silos, that kind of stuff. Because you also notice at the main farm we didn't have a silo. I think that's pretty much the same as we go around. I don't think we've got a silo on any of the farms, if I recall. So swinging out to the road and up onto the dike. Apologies if I'm referring to these by the wrong names. This does go out to the water. Oh, down here, isn't it? Now I say it's a lot of maps and map tours and stuff. It's the little things, it's the features, the little bits that stand out. It's things like this here. Little extra details. These just little extra rocks that are by the side. If they weren't there, you'd never know, but they are there. It just adds a little something extra on top. You know, it's a minor thing, but it's a nice touch, nice detail. So, this farm here, we are at plot 153. So, we came from the main farm down here and across and up to the vehicle shop. We came back along from there. We are now at this point here. So, this is plot 153. 50,072 is what it will cost to purchase. Do that and that. We've got a sleep trigger just the side there. We've got plenty of shed and barn space. I mean, that's the sort of theme as we go to each of the farms. No shortage of shed space. Got a storage room in there as well. Some of these, part of the required mods, are sheep buildings, but this, I think, as far as I can tell, is the sleep trigger with the standard one. And then we do have another slurry basin, I think, right around the back here. Again, these buildings can all be removed. There you go, slurry basin here as well. So if you want to remove one of these, put an animal pen on, remove a couple of them, change the farm completely, you absolutely can. Does make it, I mean, is modular the right word? But it does make it far more usable. Some maps, when you've got loads of farms around the map, which is great if you're playing multiplayer, but you can't remove a lot of the buildings, or you can remove some and not all of them, and then it's sort of, it's not, a chore is the wrong word, but it, you know, it does make life a little bit harder, whereas this straightforward. Right, we're going to head along and up to that secret pasture, but that little pasture I was talking about, which is a cow pasture. Actually, I think we might hit the animal dealer first. Now this does have a river that goes across the top northwest section of the map. The only downside I found, now again, there are plenty of mods out there, and because you can buy the edges, all the extra bits on the map for nothing, there are plenty of bridge mods. So if you wanted to put another bridge in, you probably could. Again, anything like that, landscaping, I would suggest. I do like the cyclists look on the little cycle lanes, which obviously we're driving part on, cycle lanes out to the sides, then it goes back to normal road, but you've got all these cyclists going along. I'm trying to think if I've ever come across a map. You have people, you have vehicles, and I'm trying to think if I've had cyclists before. I lost my thread. I got sidetracked by the cyclists. I don't know if it'll even come back to me. Completely blanked. Anyway, in editing it will. So if we drive along this road here, on our right coming up, we've got the animal dealer. It's tucked away. Just around the back of here. There we go, just there. So from here, I'll just swing around this loop. Then you see the fencing on the right hand side here. If you get to the other end, we don't need to be the other end to buy it, but you see there's feed troughs, it's like feed troughs, but yeah, in there. So we've got a cow pasture here. Might just stop there, pop out. So from there, we came all the way up, round there, past animal dealer, we are now here. So plot 152, 52,120, buy that, that, and that, there we go. So, cows, 50. So if you bring your cows out to pasture, you can bring them out here. Again, there are plenty of modded pastures and stuff, animal pens and that kind of thing. So for placing them anywhere else on the map, because the map is fairly flat, you shouldn't have a problem at all. So from here, we are going to head up over the river. That's what I was talking about. So the river runs up here. That's what I was talking about. Bridges. So this river runs right the way up to the top here. Now we are going to cross the river, and we're going to go out. There's some farms and some bits and bobs sell points across the river, but there's only one crossing point there. So it makes the map feel a lot bigger, because your route out on this top section of the map means you've got to come all the way back to cross over that bridge to come back to wherever you're going to go to. So it does give that impression the map's a lot bigger. But because we can, as I've said, we can buy all of this, it should mean and could mean, potentially, that you might be able to landscape it, you might be able to put some extra bridges in if you want to. I haven't tried, I'm not saying you definitely can, but I'm sure enterprising people amongst you will have a fiddle around to see what they can do. So, from there, from here, from there, from here, to you, to me. And over the river. So we come down here, hairpin back on ourselves, just here. And we come to the only productions on the map. So we have dairy, we have grain mill and cereal factory. And this is kind of a little port area dock as well. So as we come into this section here, I do like the sort of the flood protection around it. So dairy just here, we have got grain mill over in the corner there, cereal factory just here. As we see, we've got boat docks, We've got some docks and stuff here, a large area for boats to moor. We come over to here and we have a cluster of sell points. So we have sell points here. Now if you look on the map, these are right on top of each other, but we do have, this is a sell everything, so sell everything sell point. Then we've got next to that, this is the maize sell point. We've got a beets sell point, we've got a potato sell point, and then we've got the animal dealer. The animal dealer is one of the ones that does bales, forage type crop things. So those are all sell points, all clustered here. What I'm going to do before we move on, as we come up here, we've got this plot 146. I'm going to purchase that now, 102,072. So we're going to head there next. As you can see, we've got some more cows and a sleep trigger just up there. So heading up here. Both these fields next to us have got fences on. I did wonder if they were animal pastures as well. I bought both of them off camera and I had no triggers come up or anything like that. And when you buy this plot, you do get this plot the other side, which has got silage clamps on it. I'm going to turn in just there, so I need to go all the way in. Sleep trigger is just there at the front. We have got cow barn just here for 200. Just trying to think, did this one have I don't think this one did have a slurry basin actually. I think it's just cows and sleep trigger. And then we've got some sheds and buildings available to us, but again can be removed if you want to. What's in here? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, storage for some car igloos as well. These can be removed as well, decorative. So there's this farm here, and then as we go just past the silage clamps, we have got a lime sell point. So these buildings just up here, around behind them, got a lime cell. Might just see the blue disc as we go through, maybe not. I'll try to do that, doesn't matter. So you go just there, that's your lime sell point. Now we're going to continue up this side, and what I'll do when I get to the top and show the stuff up there, the drive back to come back over the bridge I'll do off camera, and I'll see you then when we're back at the bridge. But we're taking these sell points, not sell points. There's another farm up here, this turning here I think, if I recall correctly. I'll do what I always do, I'll show you on the map where we are and where we've been. So heading out this way, we've got the only sheep farm that's set on the map. Again, there's nothing to stop you putting more in, or pigs, or chickens, or anything you like. So, we get to here. So, from the bridge to the sell points, out there to this farm plot here, we've just come up here and up here. So we're now at plot 147. We buy that for 63,528. Do that, that, and that. Now this one doesn't have a sleep trigger, but does have a sheep building, and we do have some more barns and building space. Come around the sides here. These doors do open. This only does 15 sheep, but we do have a sheep barn, sheep pen. But again, if you wanted more, you can knock one of these buildings down, put one on here, or buy the land next to it, put one down, whatever you want to do. I mean, these buildings are big, so you could put down, you know, other sheep pastures. Again, if you don't want to do sheep, but you can do pigs, do whatever you like, or sheep and pigs. I'm not going to run through every permutation, but you know what I mean. You get the idea. So, from here, continuing to follow alongside the river, up this side, we come to the second of what I've referred to as the contractor yards. This one has got a fuel tank on it, it's got a water point on it, and some buildings. And when you buy the plot of land, that doesn't change. They stay there. You don't get any animal pens or anything on there. There are some large buildings, but a large area for placing stuff down. and change the farm. And across the other side of the road, there's another small plot that's got a slurry basin on it as well. Now, what I did find with this plot that we're coming to now, you can sell all of the sheds, but I couldn't sell the fuel tank, and I couldn't sell the water point, which is sort of not in the middle of the yard, but it's yeah. I'll try again, but it might be I was at the wrong angle or something, but I couldn't get them to sell. So up here on our left, coming up, might be right opposite, I think. Yeah, just on the left here. Again, it's this, as I was going with the map, you know, I'm looking at all these points and thinking how picturesque. I mean, I know it's a slurry pit, but it's sort of slurry thing. But the fencing here, you've got slightly rusted barbed wire, little sort of washout pond area, slurry basin next to it. It's just really nicely made. So we followed all the way back up here. So this is the small plot there, 148. Buy that, do that, and that trigger comes up for our slurry basin. Oh, sorry, hang on. And then this side of the road, 149. 103,072. So the plots themselves aren't actually too expensive. So nothing changes once you... Did I purchase it? Yeah. Barriers with beacons that open here. As we whiz in, like I said, there's no sleep trigger here, but there's plenty of sleep triggers in the mod hub. Large buildings, shed space. We've got a workshop trigger up the back there. These can all be removed, but this here in the middle, so this fuel tank. Oh, that's interesting. I did buy this plot, didn't I? That's weird. Why is that not... okay. I didn't try that off camera, and I'm glad I've done that now. It's not giving me any information on it at all. It's not giving me the option to fill it. How weird. If I go into build mode, demolish, like I said, I can't... I'm clicking on it, nothing's happening. If I click on that building, it gives me option to demolish it if I want to. But that one... yeah, I'm not getting anything. That's curious. The same with the water as well. So if I remove that building, that's kind of sat, not in the middle, but you might have to kind of work around it. Curious about that fuel. So, Contractor's yard, just up here. So we are up the top of this section. So I'm going all the way back down there, cross over the bridge. I'm going to head up this side of the river. You might see part of that journey, but there's nothing for us to look at apart from the scenery as we go, of course, until we get up to here, which is where the gas station is. And then we're going to head up and do this top section, and then we'll come down to this section here. So, I'll see you back there in a moment. That's what I should do, really. I know I own the land now, but what's the first rule? Always shut the gate. Coming up on our right, we've got the gas station. Just there. I've been asked occasionally when I'm on British maps or maps that aren't American, why do I still say gas station, not petrol station or fuel station? That's how it's written on the map. If it's written as fuel station, if it's written as something else, I will say whatever it's written as, but it's written as gas station, so I just read it as is. I meant to say about these, a lot of these we've been going through, these wall sections. Again, another feature of the map. It's really cool. It adds an element of immersiveness to it all. So we're heading out to the next plot to purchase over the next branch of the river. So this bridge is on a separate branch, not on the main branch. When I said there was only one bridge on that branch of the river, if you're coming back across, this is a separate bit. So we're going to go up here. And this set of trees here, there's a small plantation. I stopped and thought, well, that's cool, that must be leading somewhere. It's a very kind of ornate, but it is a dead end. It goes up there, there's a little field up there and a little plot of trees. Nothing, you know, but again, it sort of stands out amongst everything else. So we come to this plot here. Let's just stop there. So we are at plot 157. So as I said, we have followed this road up here. We've now come through this winding section here, and we are up here, plot 157. 47,712. That's all to buy this. But this is a 99 kilowatt biogas plant. Standard inputs, standard output, with the relevant recipes for a 99 kilowatt. Silage clamp just there. Again, with this, all these buildings, the biogas plant can be removed, the silage clamps can be removed. The weigh station there, I couldn't remove. But if we come over to here, you'll see, standard silage, slurry, manure, sugar beet cup, with digestate coming out. So if this biogas plant isn't the one you want a larger one, a different one that does methane, there are so many available. This can be removed. You can place your own ones. If you want a different silage clamps, you can. Again, making it a lot more versatile. I like that. It's not fixed in place, which is very cool. So from here, we're going to head back down through the little gap, and we're going to head out to the last point. I'm sure it's the last point, because from there it takes us back to the farmers market, which is where we started. So we head back down through here, and we're going to head out to the east side of the map. Missed my turning, that was close. I don't think I can get to that way, so I'm pretty sure this is the only bridge over this branch as well. I'm just going to double check that actually, just to make sure. Yeah, so that road just leads up and back around that triangle, so I do want to be going this way. Just make sure I've gone the right way. I'm normally pretty good once I've done a route round once and I know sort of the route I want to take. Every now and again there'll be a map where for whatever reason my brain just can't cope with it. And I get a little bit lost, a little bit turned around. So heading out here, you can just see a little dome over there. That's where we're heading to. And those points when we get there is buying and selling points for liquid manure, slurry, and manure. So solid manure and liquid manure can be sold or purchased there. The more enterprising among you might just decide they're going to go there and you're going to buy and sell. Again, prices wise on the map, if you're not sure what sells where, if you go into the prices menu, you can have a look at every single thing that can be bought or sold. On the right hand side it will tell you where it can be bought and sold, so you can check the prices for everything. I'm pretty sure there's not a huge difference in price buying and selling here. You could make a little profit if you wanted to, but there are so many other ways in-game to make money now. I'm thinking back to like FS15 and stuff like that, where you were trying to find any advantage you could possibly get to make a bit of extra money. So, we swing into here. This plot can be bought as well, although I couldn't remove these. These were fixed in place. So over here, we've got our slurry pit. So we've got our buying point is just here. Our selling point is just there. So if you've got excess slurry from your animals, you can bring it to sell. If you want slurry and you haven't got your animals yet, or you're not producing enough and you want to use it for fertilizing, you can buy here. And the same with the manure. So the manure point here, this is where you're buying your solid manure, and that's where you can sell your solid manure in there. Now, I will just have a look because I'm curious. Manure. Yeah, so if you look there, oh no, so you got the, I know it says selling point, they're selling to you, so 26 and then sell it for, does that say minus 53? It does say minus 53. Ah, that's interesting. So the slurry, buy for 26, minus 20, so you'll lose money. Yeah, and the same with digestate, minus 6. Well, that's curious. So again, I'm glad I come and check this because I wouldn't have thought to otherwise. That definitely says minus 16. So if your animals are producing a load of digestate, or your animals, your biogas plant is producing digestate as a byproduct, that means you can't sell it here because you'll make a loss. That's curious. I'm not misreading that, am I? That definitely says minus. I suppose that's to stop you doing that thing where you buy it. I suppose what they're also doing is they're kind of pushing you down a route of using it for fertilizer, for an organic fertilizer, rather than just selling it all. I suppose. So you'll take a hit on it if you do. Anyway, curious. Anyway, so I've said anyway multiple times now. So from there we came down. We are now at this point here. If I follow that road along and back up, we come back to the farmer's market, and the main farm is there. That is the map. Dutch Fantasyland, by NorthEastModding. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.